Daniel, you stress very much how it's important for us to remain in touch with our roots. And because the left wants a blank slate, they want to destroy our connection to our roots and also to our faith. I'm a Christian, you're of the Jewish faith. There's a lot that brings us together, I would think, including the Psalms. Why I bring this up is, and this is all interconnected, Joe Biden, I remember, referred to the Psalms as the palms. I'm a little bit surprised that more wasn't said about that. I mean, that should be front page news. This is a Catholic. This is a devout Catholic that goes to church. Daniel, how can you be a devout Catholic? How can you be a devout Jewish person and call the Psalms the palms? What does this say about who this guy is? And it's very interconnected with how the left really has no touch with their faith and with our roots and with our faith, with our belief system.
Well, in all fairness, Joe Biden was, as he put it, raised in the black church under Reverend Corn Pop. When he wasn't actually spending all of his time in the synagogue, again, his own words, but when he wasn't spending his time in with his Latino abuela, and when he wasn't spending all of his time in the mosque. So it's understandable he'd be a little confused on these points and various other points. But I think it's fair to say that Joe Biden, like, pretty much every Democrat, beginning with Bill Clinton, has no meaningful religious ties or religious connections. And this is not surprising for a political party, really, where Christianity has fallen by the wayside anyway. I wrote, and this was a while back, I think by now approaching a decade, that for the first time, the majority of white Democrats were not Christian, were not religious. I think the numbers, if anything, are even worse. And I would imagine that the majority of Democrats, the vast majority of Democrats under 30 are no longer religious at all. And the numbers are only going to accelerate because this is a party really that already has a religion, and its religion is leftism. Its politicians feel the need to occasionally pretend to be religious. I mean, Hillary Clinton pretended to be religious. Does anybody seriously believe, whatever your party, whatever your politics are, does anybody seriously believe that Hillary Clinton has any kind of faith or any kind of religious belief? Of course not. And, the more as a country we become involved with politics, the more we believe that we can control everything, that politics itself is the ultimate determinator of everything. Well, the more we become a secular country because politics becomes religion. And that is what the left wants. The left can triumph in multiple ways. And one of the ways that the left can triumph is by taking away the soul of its opponents, by convincing them to pervert their beliefs, to become a mockery of what they were, to let go of their strength. And this is one of the reasons why I actually wrote this book, because it is important for us to remember the sources of our strength, just as it's important for us to hold on to our faith, because when we lose those connections, then the left wins by default. The left doesn't always have to defeat us in the streets. It can enable us to defeat ourselves.
Absolutely. But Daniel, just an individual that poses as a Catholic and calls the Psalms the palms, I think it kind of says everything, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it does. This is a hollow man, a man with no actual knowledge or beliefs, who pretends to be different sorts of things in order to convince very stupid people that he's one of them.
But how can you call the Psalms the palms? Let's let that go for a minute. It just should have been on the front page news everywhere, if anything. Daniel,